Hey, boys and girls. Today's story is called Honestly, Red Riding Hood Was Rotten. And this is told from the perspective of the wolf. Chomp, chomp. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just finishing my lunch. My name's Wolf. Big Bad Wolf. You may have heard the story of Little Red Riding Hood about a girl and her granny. Seems like everyone has. Anyway, my tale is different. Did I say tail? I meant tell. Once upon a time, I ran out of food. Completely out of food. The cupboards were bare, the freezer too, and I'd eaten every last vegetable and fruit in the garden. Every single one. Other wolves might have lunched on the little forest critters, the chipmunks, the bunnies, the squirrels. But I'm a vegetarian. That's right, I don't eat meat. Well, I try not to. I love apples. Honeycrisp, Honeycrisp, Pink Lady, Golden Delicious, any kind really. But sadly, it was a long time until the apple harvest. I hadn't eaten in weeks. My stomach growled and howled, it moaned and groaned and even roared. And then my nose took over. Sniff, sniff. I took a whiff. What was it? A girl. Cake and butter. In this forest? I had to investigate. And there she was, Little Red Riding Hood. She looked as plump and juicy as a big, sweet apple. Little Red waved her cape. "Isn't it pretty?" she said. "Yeah." "Aren't I pretty?" she said. She was admiring herself in a puddle on the ground. "With this cape, I'm even prettier than usual." Boy, someone is full of herself. My stomach started growling again. Little Red twirled a strand of hair. "My mother says the cape looks grand with my skin. My skin shines like pearls." Or like the meat of a red, juicy apple. Mmm. Remember, I hadn't eaten in weeks. Time to chomp! But then Little Red said, "I can't wait until Granny sees how pretty I am today. I'm bringing her cake and butter from my mother." My stomach started howling. Ah, two meals. Granny for breakfast and Little Red for lunch, and cake and butter for dessert. So, where does Granny live? She lives down there in the clearing, in the brown house. I knew that house, and I had a plan. Let's play a game. I'm awesome at games. Yes, you are. You take this path, and I'll take that path, and we'll see who arrives at Granny's first. I'll arrive. Want to know why? Because I'm the prettiest and the fastest. I bet you are. Ready? My stomach started moaning, and before it started groaning, I ran. Nobody knows the forest like I do, so I chose a shorter path. Sniff, sniff. I took a whiff. What was it? Apple air freshener? Tap, tap, tap. I knocked on the door. "Who's there?" called out a voice. It's your granddaughter, I squeaked. I've brought you cake and butter from Mother. Okay, the door's open, Granny said. Granny tugged at her nightcap. Green, isn't it pretty? Pretty like a Granny Smith apple. Tell me, boy, aren't I pretty? You must have heard the saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Well, it's true. My stomach started roaring. What was that noise? Chomp, chomp. I had to eat her. She was no Macintosh apple, but not too bad. I still felt hungry. Tap, tap, tap. Little Red knocked on the door. Who is it? I called out, crawling into Granny's bed. It's your granddaughter, Little Red. I brought you cake and butter from Mother. Doors open, I said. Little Red walked in and caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror. Isn't my cape pretty, Granny? Look at me. Granny, what deep dark eyes I have. Mm-hmm. The color of apple seeds. Granny, what perfect ears I have. Mm-hmm. Shaped like sharply cut apple slices. Granny, what pretty red lips I have. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Red delicious. Granny, what lovely skin I have. Chomp, chomp. I ate her up. What can I say? Things look different when you're hungry. She was no Fuji or Crispin apple. In fact, to be honest, she was a bit rotten. But she was better than nothing. Plus, I got dessert. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you enjoyed that book.